Did you hear about the Jason Aldean song that was pulled from CMT this week?
Yes, let's get into Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
I had a reach out, not a reach around, but I had a reach out from a friend.
Much more expensive.
Boy, we are just starting off awesome on this. Welcome to 2 Shots and Realty Check Quickshots, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death. Murder your thirst. Now let's quickly get back into it. Every time these things get uploaded, I get like a thing in my email that says, is this made for kids? Would you like an age restriction? No, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
Yeah.
That basically she knows he and his wife, and they're meanies. She was like, the song, whatever, the video, whatever. The thing is, they're assholes. Both of them are assholes. Like she's been stiffed by them, and they were jerky jerks to her. And I was like, oh, well, some personal information. Very nice.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Have you heard the song?
I have not heard the song. I got a kind of a Cliff's Notes version of what it's about, but I think it's interesting that the industry is pushing back a little bit on that with the CMT.
All right, let's set this up. So Jason Aldean, very famous country artist who does, I would consider it contemporary country. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a rock edge to it.
Redneck rock.
Yes, redneck rock. We can say that, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the song is called "Try That in a Small Town." The song has been out, I think, since May, maybe a little bit earlier. Yeah. I think there was a pre-release of it in April, perhaps. But the video came out recently, like in the last month or so. Yeah. And that really is what's causing. That's what caused the brouhaha. Is the video. There's a lot of burning images in it. There's a lot of violent images in it, which are not necessarily in the song. Yeah. But that are in that. And so so you have not heard the song?
I have not. I mean, okay. There's a couple of songs of his I like, but it's not something I choose to put on the regular. I'm not a modern country fan.
Right. Yeah.
A couple of things from the lady singers that I really enjoy. Like I do love Miranda Lambert and Casey Musgraves and that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder. I haven't looked it up, and I was wondering if he completely wrote it, because when you get into Nashville land,
12 writers.
A lot of times, there's
Beyonce style.
Yeah. But so I was trying to see who the writer is for it, or the writers. Not that it even is listed that way sometimes.
Yeah. What do you mean?
So here is something that, and I'm not going to put them on blast, but I'm going to put them on blast. Yeah. I love when people say that. Not to be offensive or anything, and then whatever falls out next is probably offensive. Yeah. Jason Aldean recorded the song. He is a recording artist, and as a lot of country artists are, they record songs. He is not a writer on that song. The track was penned by Neil Thrasher, Kurt Allison, Tully Kennedy, and of course Kelly Lovelace, who's on a bunch of things. Yeah. So is Neil Thrasher, by the way. They all are big writers. So that's who wrote the song. Jason Aldean didn't write it, but he chose it. Management chose it. Yeah. He's blessed it. He's been in the video. It was not just a cut on the album. It has been released as a single. And so in this kind of world, in the major label world, that means a little something different. That means you're kind of behind it. And by the way, so from a label standpoint or a publisher standpoint, especially from a publisher standpoint, look, controversy sells. Yeah, it really does. You're not going to put out the most boring song on the record as a single. You're going to put out something you think can cross lines or make a dust up happen, right? So there's a lot of lines in the song. Like one of the lines is "Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're going to round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck." Okay, like for ultra liberals, I can see how that would piss you off. But also for people who really believe that it's your Second Amendment right to own a gun,
Yeah.
That's something that
it's playing to the
those
base.
people
I
are really
understand.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it.
And by the way, it is
It
the
is.
right to own a gun in most places without any limitation.
Yeah. And just because I agree or disagree with that doesn't mean I'm against or for anybody's rights otherwise. It's like it's not up to me. That's my opinion.
But that
on
is
that.
also, like, to be fair, it's a right-wing...
Yeah.
Not a right-wing talking point. I will say it's a Republican talking point.
Yeah.
I'm sick of just saying it's a right-wing talking point. It is a Republican talking point that they say one day they're going to round them up.
Which they haven't
Absolutely
yet.
nobody in the Democratic Party has talked about coming and taking your guns. The only people talking about that are Republicans who are against you coming and taking their guns.
Yeah.
And I get it. That's a good way to argue that issue. Set up the straw man, blame everyone for, they're coming after your guns. But they're not. No, there's no law out there. There's nobody even proposing that. There's actually no way to do it federally. There are no state that I know of is even putting that out there. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Show me the bill. Show me the senator. Show me not a person talking on TV. Show me a politician who's actually talking about taking your guns. Pretty much the Democratic Party has always said that there needs to be some guardrails, maybe some rules about it, maybe some registrations, maybe some of those sort of things. So these are the kind of things that are talked about in the song. Let me give you another line. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag, and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Okay. The imagery in the song for a lot of people, I saw a TikTok on this from a black guy that was like pretty cool about this, where he was like, look, I know y'all think when you hear these lines, this is a racist song. Mm-hmm. He's like, but look, a lot of people cuss at cops. A lot of people spit in their face.
And if you ever watched the show, if you watched the show Cops, a lot of them were white rednecks.
That's right. Yeah. J6. We could go back to that again. And so if you feel off put by that, especially as like a sort of a white liberal that wants to get all pissed off about things, this says kind of something more about you if you think it's about black people. Mm-hmm. And I find it funny that a lot of my black friends are telling me the same thing. Let me also say this. I've been around a lot of small towns. I've been in places where there is a number on the end of the population on the town sign that is a placard that changes every day.
Yep.
One's born, one dies.
I played those towns too.
That's right. 1002, 1001, 1003, 1001.
The funny part is those towns tend to have a higher budget for those kind of events than the major city municipalities.
I'm not the only one who's going to say this, but I'm going to say this. And that is, part of this song is very true. Mm-hmm. I live in a big city. I live in a top 18, top 20 city in the United States. And I will tell you, as someone who's had property problems and actual crime on my property, the cops don't give a fuck a lot of times. That doesn't, it's not to say anything about the cops. Maybe it's their budget. Maybe it's what their priorities are with the previous mayor, whatever. But no, someone broke into a building I live in and they didn't come for 2 days. They're not coming.
Yeah.
And when they do, they're just going to take a statement. And, I think a lot of people think that there's like this CSI world where they're going to run them through a database and check their fingernails and look for DNA and enhance. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. But
zoom in there.
When you're in a small town, and I have been in those small towns,
Sheriff
everybody
gives a
knows
fuck.
each other. The shopkeeper knows the guy that runs the Walmart. The Walmart worker knows the people who play on the football team. Like, all those people know each other. You go walk into a small shop in a small town, start waving a gun and try to steal.
They know who you are.
Everybody knows about it. And the two cops that are driving around, they're there fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And so a lot more is done about it. That shit don't fly in a small town. So that kind of thing is true. It just is true. Mm-hmm. Has that been your experience in a small town?
My experience in a small town was a very tight knit community, just like what you just described. Everybody knew each other, and by the time we'd played those small towns a couple times, everybody knew everybody in the band, and they were always very excited, and the whole fucking town would show up, and they were just so excited that we were there, because shit doesn't go to a small town.
The circus came to town.
Yeah, there's a reason that people live there, and it's because of that sense of community. And that's one thing, like even anthropologically speaking, we are not necessarily designed for a tribe bigger than that. And so it makes sense that, you know, there's an internal longing for that size of community. I don't know if you remember, but in the 1900s, there was a... Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, I need to take my Gaviscol or whatever that is.
You empty your colostomy bag and take your Geritol. Yeah, I know. But there was a batch of movies came out about the big time Hollywood. I'm looking at you, Michael J. Fox, Doc Hollywood, you know, like whoever, and he gets fucking Roadhouse was about this shit. You know, the big time city guy goes to the small town and cleans it up or finds love. It's the story of every Hallmark Christmas movie, you know? Like there's a billion of these tropes, and there's a reason that romantically speaking, it appeals to us because that's kind of how we have evolved in these smaller pods. And, you know, sometimes it makes sense why there's a degree of chaos in cities because it's such a fucking large group of people.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I will also say this about small towns is that the converse is true. As someone who has also lived in small towns, I've lived in very small towns too, for a short while. But this is why. I know a lot of people too that have done that. Mm-hmm. And the converse is true to where you can become a person that doesn't want everyone to know your damn business.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't need you to know that I went to Walmart today. I don't need you to be talking to your friends at soccer practice about that I bought cigarettes at the gas station even though I told my wife I quit. You know, I don't need you to
very
see,
specific reference.
Or like a girl that like is, you know, maybe dating a few boys, but one of the boys thought, like, this happened in a very small town in Texas that I used to spend a lot of time in. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to mention it, Hallettsville. That I wanted to make sure that, like,
are you going to bleep that out later?
There was this great girl. She was dating a few boys, at the high school.
Yeah.
Well, one of the boys thought that she was dating them exclusively. She was a daughter of a friend of ours there.
Yeah.
And she was at a Sonic, but it's so small town. She was at a Sonic with one of the guys she was dating.
Yeah.
And somebody told the other guy, oh my God, it became a meet me by the flagpole at 3:00 kind of thing.
Fuck.
Let's go fight for her honor. And she's like, wait a minute, I'm not yours. Well, no, you're my girl. And she's like, no, I'm dating people. And by the way, we didn't do anything. We just took me out, for a lemonade and some burgers. Yeah. And it's that kind of crap that also a lot of people will eventually be like, you know what? I don't need that shit in my life. I don't need you all knowing my business. Yeah. Or also, the flip side of this small town vigilantism, which can be good, I will just say it can be good. A town shop owner or the big box store that's in town or whatever, everybody kind of looks out for each other, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the other problem is when you live in a remote region, no one's coming to help you when someone comes to your door. Mm-hmm. And if someone's harassing you or threatening you with violence, like, they can find where you live damn quick. They can get there damn quick. Yeah. And they can do some damage damn quick. And that is scary as hell for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hence gun ownership in a lot of those places. Mm-hmm. Because you kind of want everyone to know, hey, I might have a shotgun behind this door. So don't, easy with the knocking.
Yeah.
I
think that's one of the things. Sorry,
drive up the dirt road a little bit slower there, Chief.
That's one of the things I've always loved about. I mean, I live in Denver now. You live in Denver now. We live in Denver proper. I always loved that part of living. I lived south of the city for a long time.
Yeah.
And one of the things I loved about that was there was enough small town community-ness that I didn't feel. I felt like a sense of community out there, but I also knew that there was a 5-star hospital within 1.5 miles of my house.
Right.
I could get there if something fucked up and drastic happened. It was kind of a nice balance between all of it. And that was something I liked about that. I fucking sometimes miss the quiet out there. That's, really part of it. But to get back to the song a little bit, I understand all of the things in the song, yes, are true and real, but the song is not the problem. It's the video that seems to be the issue. Am I correct on that?
Well, it's a little bit both. It's a little bit both. It's become a MAGA theme. And so it's become a, like, you know, it's been co-opted by political forces. So like I try to talk this way about these things to a lot of people. A small town, crime, whether or not people you know spit at a cop, don't like a cop, yell at a cop, whatever, whether or not someone, you know, robs or doesn't rob a liquor store is not political.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not. It's actually economics.
Yeah.
It's actually economics. It's actually the way those people are treated in society, one way or the other. It could be someone with a mental health problem, could be a drug addict, could be an alcoholic, could just be someone who's, you know, roiding out and getting pissed off. And it's not necessarily a political position.
Yeah.
But both sides, right? This is one thing where I agree. Both sides do glom on to these sort of things to try to score a point for their team, whichever way they go. And so what's really happened here is that the liberal key warriors, and I make fun of them as much as anyone. I swear to God, on Twitter, I would not know half of the right-wing bullshit that happens if it weren't for liberals. Liberals share more about Republicans than any op on Republican side. And they do it to score their little clout points and be like, can you believe this? Retweet if you think they should go to jail. And it's like, what the fuck who are you trying to convince here? Like if, and by the way, they all call themselves journalists, or you need to know this, it's breaking news. No, it isn't. You're sharing a clip from TV. You're sharing something that was already written in a paper that was vetted by an editor. Yeah. And so that's when it takes off, right? So a MAGA person will get involved and be like, this is the kind of song I'm talking about. This is the kind of America we want. Okay? Yeah. And maybe I shouldn't have a Southern accent there, but also then the liberal person comes in and goes, no, that's the kind of America we're fighting against. No, it isn't on either side. Yeah. Like, that's part of the America that should be able to exist. Yeah. But that doesn't mean small town ways of life need to be in every big town. Like, I seriously don't think, as someone who's grown up in the mountains, someone who's been around when, you know, those small towns where you're so far away from a hospital or from a cop, you probably do need a gun. There's going to be a bear. There's going to be something that attacks you. Have a shotgun. You don't need 5 AR-15s, but you should be able to have a gun to protect yourself in lieu of something else, right? Yeah. But I also don't think you necessarily need that in a big town. I'm just very centrist that way. Yeah. And so I don't want to impose my big city values on a small town, but I also don't want your small town bullshit to come up to the big city. Yeah. Like, I don't think everyone has to be the same religion, where I've been in a lot of small towns where it's clear if you're a Muslim, you are not welcome. You just aren't. But it's also clear in small areas in Michigan, if you aren't a Muslim, you aren't welcome as well, because there's a huge Muslim community. That's fine. Those towns should exist. That's part of the melting pot of America. But I think what happens is that everyone tries to imprint their little corner of America on all of America, as if America's one thing. And it really isn't. That's where we get it wrong, I think.
50 small countries?
It's 50 small countries. We are, you know, like everybody likes to say, it's a republic. Yeah. And you know, anyone that's done a lot of, I mean, traveling gets rid of a lot of this stuff for most people. Go travel, go to Mississippi, go to Alabama if you're from the West Coast. If you're from the East Coast, come see what the fuck Tucson's like. It's different, y'all. It's different. You know, if you're from like South Texas, maybe you should go check out what Montana's like. Yeah. Because it is a different kind of wide open space than you're used to. You don't have buffalo and mooses and mises, those kind of things, you know? And so, and so if you travel a lot, you do see these little pockets of America, and you know, when you go through them, man, everyone's pretty much the same. Like, don't bug me, don't pull shit, don't steal stuff, be nice, pay your bill. You know, be nice when you're coming through. Pick up your trash. I mean, it's kind of the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone.
It's a pity this isn't video because you leaned the fuck in on that vocal, right?
Dude, we were about to go Ebony and Ivory on this shit. Oh my God. Some of the older people that are listening are like, I know that song.
So let me ask you, I would like to wrap this up soon. So I'm going to wrap this up soon.
Boring.
It's not boring because again, like all of this stuff leads into why did CMT pull the video? Do you think that was the appropriate thing to do?
I don't. I
agree.
I don't care whether I agree with it or I don't agree with it. I don't think that a music video. Look, I don't think Dr. Dre's video should be pulled for showing violent imagery, and I don't think Jason Aldean should.
Yeah.
He's not mentioning anyone specifically. I don't see any like specific race baiting in it. If that's the case, maybe. If that's not what the song is about. I can see how that can be something, but that's not what it is. And I'm fine if there's violent. Personally, I'm fine if it's violent imagery. I like movies. I like TV. Yeah. I watch people shot on TV all the time. I watch people blow up the White House when I watch White House Down. Yeah. So you can have a music video with that, right? Yeah. Like, it's entertainment. He's not a public official. I don't think it should be pulled on Spotify. Mm-hmm. I don't think there needs to be a warning tag other than whatever, the Christian moms want to say about explicit stuff on it or whatever.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. But I honestly do not think it should be pulled. I think this is one of those things where you let the market decide.
Yeah.
Now, that's the thing. Is CMT. If CMT is saying their own people are writing or calling in or whatever it is where they feel the pressure, because it's critics that say it's offensive.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, you and I work with Nashville people. Not so much me as much as you, but Nashville is not what you people think it is.
Yeah.
Nashville is corporate as fuck. Yeah. And the money rules and the power structure rules, and they want commercial success. They've worked for decades to get to this point to where it is LA, New York, and Nashville, right? Yep. And Nashville used to be the afterthought, but it is right there. Yep. And it's not just country.
Nope.
It's rock. It's jazz.
I know several rock musicians that live there that are very famous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And so, I mean, Taylor Swift's from, she's still a resident of Tennessee somehow.
I remember sitting at a restaurant in Nashville with a friend of mine. We were having brunch. It was like a
that says
Mexican
it all.
place.
You're having brunch in Nashville,
and it was like like fucking swanky ass like brunch place. I don't even remember the name of it, but we were having brunch, and I wanted hot sauce. I was fucking starving. We'd been working nonstop for like 4 days straight, and had like 2 meals between like the whole time. And I looked, I was looking around. I was like, fucking no hot sauce on this table, and I saw hot sauce on the table next to me, and I said, "Excuse me, can I have that hot sauce?" And they were like, "Sure." Handed it over. I put it on things. Thanks so much, and handed it back, and went back. And my friend's sitting across from me, and she's got these big old fucking eyes in her face, and I was just eating away. Table next to me clears, and she goes, "Did you just ask Taylor Swift for hot sauce?" I was like, this was a long fucking time ago, so. But yeah, it was just really, really, really funny. But
that's from that picture from Storm Glory that he was showing a music industry showcase that he was at with some young girl with beautiful curly hair playing a guitar and singing. I was like, hey, that was in her showcases era.
Oh man, I've done so
There's
many.
There's like 2 old guys
who
are like, I understood that reference.
I'm gonna put a button on this too.
All right, button it up.
I agree that it should not have been pulled. I think we have an issue in this country where violence is okay, but sexuality is not, due to a bunch of puritanical bullshit, in my opinion.
Amen.
That the violence we can see on television is fine. My son can turn on the TV and see a dude get his head smashed in, but God forbid there's a nipple on television, a female nipple.
Right.
And I have this so there's that piece of it. But in the interest of just because it doesn't yank my crank doesn't mean that it's wrong in my opinion. It's just like, but here's the other piece of it. I think that this is going to make this song bigger than it would have been.
And that's why I said publishers love this.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Because no matter where it goes, whether it's sales or streams or whatever, however, like even people going, oh, I got to see what this song is about. That's a click. That's a play.
Yep.
That's a royalty for us.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a good thing. But here, I'll button up my side of it. I agree with you on all of this. Let me button up my side of it. My side of it is this. I rarely, if ever, agree with taking something, with the powers that be, taking something down and getting rid of it so that you can't see it. Which, by the way, they pulled it off CMT, but you can find it on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, yep.
Okay? Thank you, YouTube. And it's not off of Spotify and Apple, as far as I know, as of this recording.
And you can still watch the videos on there as well, can't you?
You can, but you can agree or disagree with this, right? Like, I'm fine with however you come down on this issue. But if you disagree with it, and I'm just saying this for everyone that's listening, in the future, this is going to happen in the future, right? God, we're coming up on another election here soon. Oh, yeah. It's gonna happen even more.
So tired.
The right way to go about this, especially for artists, is you create your side of it.
Yeah.
Argue it out in art. That's the way we used to do it in the Renaissance. Argue it out in art. Do your own version of that song. Do your own version, your counter. Do basically get into a rap battle with Jason Aldean. Yeah. So don't ask him to take it down. Don't ask them to take it down. Don't say the world shouldn't see this. Show me what I should be hearing and seeing from you.
Yeah.
You put out the thing in the world.
I love that.
So there you go.
Let creativity inspire creativity.
And let me sign it to a publishing deal because
Show
then we'll all
money!
make money.
Show me. I'm done.
Okay, so Kelsey, stop it. Stop it.
We're there. We're getting it.
It's
only been like 28 minutes of this bullshit.
At the top of the rundown, it says, "Do not talk about Jason Aldean."
It does.
And that is a quick shot from 2 Shots and a royalty check. Hey, check us out, 2shotsmusicpod.com or at 2shotsmusicpod anywhere you follow things. Email us, 2shotsmusicpod@gmail.com and let us know if you want more of these. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later.